SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Y'all sports with Cliff Furr. Wednesday morning, turn that dial. Let it burn. From Brookhaven down through the back roads, every small town star gets a turn. Y'all sports with Cliff Furr. Can you feel it? Southwest Mississippi proud. Presented by Bank of Brookhaven and Toyota Brookhaven Loud.
Well, folks, you asked for it, and here it is. Y'all Sports Radio. Your teams, your town, your source. That's Y'all Sports. I'm Cliff Furr, the Y'all and Y'all Sports, and I am filled with excitement and equally humble to be coming to you on SuperTalk 102.1 for our debut episode of Y'all Sports Radio. We'll be broadcasting each Wednesday at 9 a.m., and when I say we, I mean our man Randy behind the board, and my buddy over here to my right, my co-host Brendan Shamatara. Brandon, a few months ago, I started Y'all Sports, and one of our first recurring features was a show we filmed each week at your office across the street. We ate Janie's cookies on camera. We once pulled a live snake out of a box. We had fun every time we hit record on the camera. Let's keep that energy going, buddy.
Hey, Cliff, couldn't be more excited, man. What you've done with Y'all Sports is phenomenal, man. It's just been a huge undertaking, and just the excitement that's built around it in the community. Not only in the community, but let's just say statewide, because of course I'm from North Mississippi, and people are always liking and commenting and sharing things that you do, or the game of the week that we did together. And so, man, I'm so proud of you. So proud to call you a friend. I'm just happy to be along this journey with you and help in any way I can.
Hey, man, that intro, it has me thinking nationwide. I mean, that song, that was my first time hearing it today. That has me thinking somebody needs to get ESPN.
I thought Van Halen.
Golly, it was awesome. Somebody needs to get ESPN on the
I'm fired up
on the horn for sure. Look, I'm not so arrogant to think that everyone listening knows that what Y'all Sports is. So allow me to introduce the brand and what the mission is. I am a lifelong resident of Lincoln County. I've also been eat up with the love of sports for as long as I can remember. And that love was nurtured by some awesome coaches and mentors when I was growing up. I've been a basketball coach earlier in my career, and I have almost 20 years now as a teacher in the Magnolia State. This is my part-time job, but it's my full-time passion, I like to say. I've been closely covering sports in Southwest Mississippi for almost a decade, beginning with my time at the newspaper here in Brookhaven. And in August of 2025, I hit publish on Y'all Sports, which was created to expand the coverage I had already been providing. Y'all Sports is primarily focused on covering all the athletics, goings and comings in Copiah, Franklin, Lawrence, Lincoln, and Pike counties. Now, we get outside those areas from time to time. For the most part, the stories you'll hear here each week will be focused on teams and players and talents from those parts of Southwest Mississippi. I go to the games and I write about what I see on our Facebook page. You can find it by searching Y'all Sports. You can find us on Instagram. You can also find us on TikTok too. You can read what I write on y'allsportsms.com if you're not on social media. And there are always times where the story is too good to be encapsulated in just 1,000 words on a website. Those stories, they deserve a deeper dive, and that's what we'll be bringing to you each week here on Y'all Sports Radio. Brandon, you sell insurance, but you have a background in sports. You played high school football. You played junior college football. You went on to play Division I football at Arkansas State. Go Red Wolves. And you also went on to be a head high school football coach at your alma mater. And I think one reason we click so well is you're a guy that loves what sports stands for in a similar way as I do. I'm sure you can probably look back at your life and realize how much good has come from playing the game, right?
Hey, man, look, sports just in general, especially football in my case, look, it's bigger than the game. I mean, honestly, it's not what you can do for the game, but what the game can do for you in so many instances. I know for myself, Cliff, it was my way out, and I don't want to get on a sob story about woe was me, Brandon, but very humble upbringing in poverty, just, kids like me don't typically have a chance, but football was my avenue. So sports create that avenue in order for you to come out of it and make something out of yourself. And so when God gifted me with the ability to play football, and then with this size that I have, it's like I got to make the most of it. And this is my way out. And so, and my mentality was, if football doesn't do it, I'm joining the military. I'm going to make something out of myself. But praise God, football was my way out. Man, just the memories that I have, going up all the way back to 7th grade, being the biggest, fastest kid on my junior high team. And so, and then now you look at today and the NIL and things like that and everything has become, people can get so upset about the current state of college football, college athletics. But let me tell you something. I made the decision a long time ago whenever all this started coming about. I said, I'm not going to let these things change the way I feel about the sport that helped me come out of the situation that I was born in. And so say what you want to about the NIL, current state of college athletics. It's still good, and it might be in some ways better than it ever has been.
Yeah, and look, I love that story that we have from you and the story that we have of your background, and we're going to tell that story one day. I mean, your story of getting your Pell Grant and using it to buy an old Mustang so you can get back and forth to school is one that I definitely want to tell. Look, none of this would be possible without our awesome sponsors. Our presenting sponsors for Y'all Sports Radio are two businesses that have been fully committed to supporting us from day one. That's Bank of Brookhaven and Toyota of Brookhaven. And I'll speak more about those two in a bit, but Shannon at Bank of Brookhaven and Prentice at Toyota of Brookhaven know how I feel about them. I'm forever indebted to have those two, the way they've come along and supported everything Y'all Sports has done from day one. We're also proud to be supported by Brandon Shamatara State Farm Insurance. Brandon's office is a cornerstone property here in downtown Brookhaven, just across the street from the SuperTalk studio. He's a great friend and a sounding board for me, and I couldn't imagine yakking into this radio with anyone else. And when the show is done, you'll be able to stream as a podcast, which is brought to you in part by our friends at Juan Seed. And we'll talk about Juan and all the exciting things going on in their new storefront. But first, we'll do an intro for our first guest. Brandon, what kind of financial package did Arkansas State throw at you when the Red Wolves were recruiting you out of Northeast Mississippi Community College in Boonville?
Oh, man, look, full scholarship. All right, so that's number one. I didn't have to pay for school. And I had to show up to class, but I didn't have to pay for school. And look, I always laugh at this. They gave me a meal card, Cliff. And on that meal card, it said 99 meals per day. And I thought, well, I'm never going to go hungry. All right? So anytime I needed something to eat, I could always go to the CAF, as we call it, and go get anything that they had out there, buffet style, a la carte, whatever. But that was my financial aid package. And let me mention the books, Cliff, because I did get paid for books, but they weren't mine. I had to turn them in, right? So, and then, by the way, any kind of damage that happened to the books, I had to pay for.
Yeah.
So you had to take care of your books. But, hey, look, man, blessed by God to have that opportunity to go and borrow books on a full scholarship with a unlimited meal plan. So super excited. Oh, yeah, I had the place to live. They called it apartments, but it was really on-campus dorms that looked like apartments. And so, but on some holidays, I had to pack up and move my stuff out. But still, that was my apartment. And so that was my package in a nutshell.
Hey, you got more than school. I mean, 99 meals. I mean, I could have put a hurting on that.
I should have figured out a way to Ziploc bag and resell. I probably could have been a food truck if I put my mind to it.
There you go. College football player arrested for selling food from cafeteria. I see the headlines now.
Crab legs from the grocery store, as Jameis Winston.
That's right. That's right. Well, look, it's not hyperbole to say that our first guest is a young man that's one of the most in-demand high school juniors in the entire nation. Brookhaven High junior defensive end Derwin Fields saw his recruitment take off like a rocket a year ago. He started off with offers from Southern Miss and Ole Miss and Auburn early on that turned into a list that now includes all the blue bloods of college football. There's less than a year before Derwin puts pen to paper and decides his college football future. I mean, for all intents and purposes, he's about to become a millionaire as a teenager when he makes that final decision. He's got a heck of a story. When Y'all Sports Radio was proposed, I knew that Derwin, who has a sick nickname for a defensive lineman, right? We call him Dirt. I knew that Dirt was going to be guest number one. We'll have him in after the break, but first, let me shout out our friends at Bank of Brookhaven. For over 25 years now, Bank of Brookhaven has been your choice for hometown banking. They're the only locally owned bank, and they know that makes a difference. Their decisions are made here locally in Brookhaven, not in Jackson or New Orleans or Nashville. For over 25 years, it's been all about you at Bank of Brookhaven, one of our presenting sponsors of Y'all Sports Radio. Let's hit a break. When we get back, we'll hear from Brookhaven High 4-star defensive end Derwin Fields. All right, we are back on Y'all Sports Radio here at SuperTalk 102.1 FM in downtown Brookhaven. And we are so excited to have our first ever guest on our debut episode, Brookhaven High junior defensive end, Derwin Fields. Dirt, let me run through the stats real quick, buddy. 56 tackles, 26 tackles for a loss, 15 sacks, 8 quarterback hurries, 2 passes broken up, 2 fumbles recovered, 3 fumbles caused, 1 block kick, and 1 5A state championship. Is that last part? Is that your favorite part?
Yes, sir. I'm telling you, we've been working for it all summer, so I knew it was gonna come with it.
Well, look, we're talking about personal highlights, though. I'll give you my favorite, and you tell me if you agree with this. Mm-hmm. The Natchez game when you picked up that fumble and ran it in.
Yeah, man, I love that picture, man.
Yeah, Katie's here. Katie got a great picture of that. When's the last time you scored a touchdown like that? I mean, was that a first time?
Yeah, that was out of all high school, that was my first touchdown.
First touchdown.
Yeah,
well, I promise you, I wouldn't bet against you not getting another one this upcoming senior season.
Oh, yeah.
What's it been like around town since winning that 5A state championship a month and a half ago?
Everybody got respect for it. Like, they were talking to us. They knew what we were going to do. We went out there and did it. And the city been with us since the summer. Fall camp, all that. They've been through the thick and thin. Like, even when we lost, like, they told us to keep our head up because we know the main goal.
One of the clips I loved the most after that was when you walked into the basketball game. Was it like the next night? And you guys had your medallions around. Yeah. Everybody was cheering for you. It's just been that vibe over and over again, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Brandon, run down our top list of 11 schools Derwin released recently.
I got a funny confession to make before we get there. So 2 seasons ago, whenever we lost by the missed field goal in the end, right? Yeah. Well, as you remember, because you were probably more heartbroken than anybody outside of the team, but I remember the ball going through the upright, and I immediately made a Facebook post, Panthers to South State. Right? I know it's to the championship.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Panthers state bound or whatever it was. And then the penalty. And I was like, oh, no. I may have jinxed them. I don't know what I did. And then I started trying to delete the post, and it wouldn't delete. And I'm like, now I'm going to look like an idiot. But I was listening to the guys on the radio, and, man, just super exciting. So proud of you guys. Look, there's nothing more sweet than almost getting there and losing the way you guys did, and then the phenomenal season you guys had. It was such a joy following you guys, and I got to come and give a devotion to you and help. I want to take a little credit for the championship with a pregame meal that we provided for you guys. So super excited about that, and just having you on, man. I know you've got a ton going on, so I'm going to ask you a tough question here, a real tough one, all right? Yeah. So out of your top 11 schools, this is what I got right here, all right? Mm-hmm. So, and I don't know who compiles this information. I always thought it was somebody on the internet just saying, we figure this is this top school, but maybe someone asked.
This is an official list.
Okay, this is your official list. Okay. Yep. All right, so we got Miami, we got Ohio State, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Tennessee, Ole Miss, LSU, Alabama, Georgia, and Oklahoma. Wow. This isn't a real narrow list, but the question is, how did you narrow it down to just those teams?
Like, I was talking to my recruiter, and, like, we was going through all the offers I had, and, like, the school that I just picked that went down to, it was, like, based off communication. Like, when I went there, how they treat me, how they provided for my family. Like, when we went there, like, friends, anything. So it's like, that's how I chose my top 11.
Yeah. The places that, that I used to tell guys when I was coaching JUCO basketball, I'd say, hey, go to the place that feels like they want you the most. Is that kind of what you were saying there?
Yes, sir. And then it just based off, like, even if I haven't been there, based off, like, communication through the phone. Like, I can't always get to every play because everything pop up. So, like, based off phone calls, messages, like, if they trying to get in contact with my family, my grandma, my mama, so it was based off.
Let me jump in, and this isn't on the list of things we were going to ask, but how do you manage your time? How do you prioritize? Because that's got to be difficult, man. Everybody coming at you from all these angles. I didn't have that coming out of high school. Actually, a couple of junior colleges, and man, I was super excited about that. I used to get some pre-printed mail from different schools. I'd walk around with it in the back of my pocket like I was big time. I probably felt like you felt, but it wasn't the same result.
Yes,
but even then, junior colleges, and when I was in junior college, I had some mid-major Division I schools coming in, and always calling, always texting, and things like that. And so, but even for me, who wasn't highly recruited, it was still tough to manage my time. So, what are some tips and things that you would give somebody in your shoes, and how are you managing all of this?
I ain't even gonna just tell a story. Like, I had my recruiter do all that because, like, he more in contact with all the coaches. Like, because I know I got to give myself time to relax and think about it. So I just had him come in contact with all the coaches, talk about it, like see who wanted me out of all them, and that's how I came down to it.
And he's the guy that's helping you with this. He's a guy who's had a son go through this process before, right? So he's one that can just kind of let you know, hey, if these are the things you're looking at, these are the folks that are going to meet those needs, like you said, right?
Yes, sir.
So, look, another thing I want to talk to you about recruiting-wise is like the camps, because that's really where this kind of started popping off last year, right?
Yeah.
Let's run through. About a year ago, was your first offer Southern Miss or Ole Miss?
It was Southern Miss.
Southern Miss offers you, then Ole Miss offers you, then Auburn offers you, and just like I know I've seen these things happen before, right? It's like a tidal wave after that of just offer after offer after offer. Is Ole Miss, has it got kind of a special place for you because they were your second offer?
Yeah, I say that because, like, ever since they offered me, they've been in contact since. Every time I come down there, they provide for me. It's real, genuine love. So that's how I take it as them being my second offer. Then it's an SEC school where you get developed and do big things. That's where then they are already producing big time first drafts, O linemen, D linemen, just players in general. So that's how I took it on. Ole Miss being one of my top schools.
And I know, like, there were schools that you visited and talked to before, like Kentucky was talking to you, Florida was talking to you, places like that. You went on some visits and stuff. Is that just a way for you to kind of like eliminate, like, all right, let me look at these places, but now I know? Is it tough to tell somebody, like, hey, coach, thanks for your interest, but I'm narrowing my list down? Or is that something also you just kind of let your guy who's helping you navigate this process?
No, I'm glad you said that. Like, even though I narrowed my list down, it's still coaches that ain't even in the top schools. Like, they still just getting my number because the transfer portal just closed, so they still talking. I still communicate with them, text them, but if it's coming on like a visit, it's just going to be a waste of my time because I feel like if they already ain't in my top school, why go waste my time to waste their time?
Yeah.
Well,
no, that's a good
let me
word.
jump in. So top schools, these aren't just like some average schools that we're talking about here now. This is the best in the country, all right? The best that the world has to offer for your college education and for you to go and put your product out on the field. Hey, brother, count this as a blessing. Give God praise for it all the time because not many people have been in your shoes, but I can tell you from experience, a lot of us wanted to be in your shoes and be that highly recruited guy. So, hey, man, when you pray, God, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Like Coach Dorsey told me every morning, like, pray about it because some folks ain't in this situation. Some folks want to be here. Some folks can't. It's like, but I grinded through it. I prayed. I played myself. I did what I had to do to go to the next level, even though I ain't there yet. But
you're on your way. Well, look,
yes, sir.
So now that you've gone through that and you've gotten the offers, are you going to do the camps this summer and spring, or is that going to be just more like visits?
It's going to be more like visits because, like, when I started getting my offers, I ain't even go to no camp. I only went to one camp. I went to an Ole Miss camp, and I got a small school off from there, North Alabama, but it's like the camps I plan on probably going to, probably like the 5-star Ravels, like the big camps for people like me. So.
Sure.
All-American game opportunities and things like that. Now that makes perfect sense. Well, look, we're gonna plug one of our sponsors real quick. Look, buying new tires for your ride, that can be one of the most unfun parts of being an adult, as my young friend Derwin will find out here soon one day. And our presenting sponsors at Toyota Brookhaven are here to take a little bit of the sting out of that process. Prentice and the gang at TOB are running one of their annual deals that folks love to take advantage of. It's buy 3 tires and get 1 free at Toyota Brookhaven right now. They've got multiple brands of the tires you trust, so don't delay. This is one of those great deals that comes and goes. Head to Toyota Brookhaven right now to take advantage, and we'll be back after this break to talk more with Derwin, this time getting to the obstacles he's overcome in his young life, next on Y'all Sports Radio.
is a double wide trailer sitting back in the holler on a country road. And baby, that's where we'll go. If you
All right, we're back on Y'all Sports Radio for another section with our man Derwin Fields, junior defensive end from Brookhaven High School. And we're going to get personal here. We're going to talk about Derwin's support system. He's got a great mom. And I also want to talk about his dad for a second, Slim, Orlandis Chapman. If you knew Orlandis Chapman and you grew up in Brookhaven, you just have to say Slim. And when you say Slim, everybody's like, oh, yeah. And you know, Derwin, I met you in 8th grade, and I did not know that Slim was your dad at first.
Yes,
and
sir.
somebody told me, and I looked at your face, and I said, man, I see Slim. I see Slim in there. And last month made it 2 years since your dad passed away, Derwin. Tell me about how important it is for you to honor his legacy and everything that you do.
It's a blessing because I told him before he passed what I was gonna do and how I was gonna project myself as a big name around the town. So it's like ever since he passed, I've been going hard for him because like that's what I got to do. I told him what I was gonna do and I'm doing it, but it ain't finished yet.
Let me ask you this. Yeah, I've told you this before. I lost my mom when I was in college.
Yeah.
Do you feel him out there when you're out there and you're playing and you get that big sack and all those emotions come running over you? Do you feel him inside?
Yeah, I feel him like when I'm before the game start, when we're in the locker room, I talk to him, I talk to God, and I think about it, and I gotta go do it for him.
And we love talking about Derwin on Y'all Sports because we hit with that hashtag Long Live Slim, and that's something that a lot of people in Brookhaven. That's the cool thing about playing at Brookhaven High, right? How many teammates of yours on this state championship team? How many of those guys were like you that they had dads who played at Brookhaven High before them? It's a bunch.
Yeah, I know. Like the one I know out of my mind is probably Cadero. No, not Cadero.
Philip Tobias Jr.,
Yes,
Dreamus Heron Jr.,
Yeah.
Fabian Washington II. I mean, there's loads of guys, and I think the coolest thing about your connection is Slim was a state champ. Slim was on that 04 team. He was a defensive back. He was rangy. He would absolutely knock your helmet off. He went on. He played at Southwest Mississippi Community College after that. He was just a great guy, man. Your dad was absolutely beloved, and that's real love. You know, when people come up to you and they talk about Slim, they talk about how proud you are, that's not fake love. That's real love, isn't it?
Yes, sir, for sure.
All right, so let's even get a little bit more personal here for a second. All right, so you have 2 missing fingers on your left hand.
Yeah.
And tell me the story of how that happened.
Like when I was in my mama's stomach, like the umbilical cord, it got wrapped around. At first, it got wrapped around my neck, but it got wrapped around my hand, so they had to amputate them. And I've been like this since I was a
You've
kid.
been like that ever since, and you've never let it stop. You never let it. You've never used it as an excuse. I'm sure that there's a lot of offensive linemen all around the state who've had you absolutely run past them and smack them upside the head, and you're like, dude, I'm doing this with 8 fingers. Give me 2 more, and I might even. But no, it's never. And we were talking off camera, and like I know there are people who deal with similar issues, and they probably need to hear like, hey, this is a future 5-star guy because you are 5-star. I'm just waiting for that 5th star to get added. This is a future 5-star defensive end, one of the highest recruited players in the country. And he's missing his pointer finger and the next finger on his left hand, and it hadn't stopped you one single time, has it, buddy?
No, sir.
Hey, I'll jump in. Derwin, so I always say when you have things like that happen in your life, of course it happened to you at a childhood, when you're born, but you can either let these things defeat you or they can define you.
Yes, sir.
And, brother, you have done a good job of letting this define who you are, not letting it hold you back. Yeah. So doing a little research, all right, we find that Stanford has offered you,
yes,
all
sir.
right? Tell me about your academics. What's your favorite subject? and I've been told you're a strong student, so elaborate a little bit there.
Like in my class, cause I gotta give shout out to my grandma too, cause like she don't play by my grade. My grandma and my mama, like they telling me if my grades ain't there, I ain't even gonna be able to play the sport.
That's what I'm talking about.
My favorite subject, I say math. I like doing stuff with numbers.
Yeah, so math. I was a big geometry guy. It just clicked with me. Like, as far as English, nah, man. My kids will come up to me right now like, hey, Dad, asking us something about a sentence. I'm like, go talk to your mama. Or I'm going to pull up ChatGPT. So math is your deal. How about geometry? You like it?
It's all right. It's good.
All right. Well, look, you spoke on your mom just then. Tell me about the relationship you have with her.
Like my mom, I love her to death, man, because, like, some folks didn't know, like, before I even got close with my dad, like, I ain't even just really know him. So it's like, my grandma took me under her wing when I was real young. Like, me and my mama stayed in the project over there. Like, she worked and she'd come get me later on. But, like, most of the time I'm with my grandma. So it's like, when I'm going back and forth with my grandma and my mama, that's how I got to keep my relationship with my mom. Like, we got a real good relationship.
Yeah, and she's super proud of you. And, you know, I think she sees in you, like you said, she sees all these great things, but she also does a great job of keeping you grounded, right? Like, it's not, you're never too big for the school. You're never too big for the program. You're never too big for the team. I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to brag on you. I just think that's something that sets you apart from guys I've seen in your position before.
Yes,
You're humble, and you're telling me your mom and your grandma are a big part of that, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, tell me about Kamar J. Lee. All right, so y'all are tight.
Yeah.
Is that your uncle?
Nah, me and Kamar ain't related.
You aren't related. Okay,
No.
I thought y'all were like blood brothers. How tight y'all are. And what about you and DeBrico? That's another.
Yeah, that's my uncle.
Okay, DeBrico is your uncle. Okay, I in the same class, but DeBrico is your uncle because his mom is your mom's sister, right?
Nah, his mom is my mom.
Okay, his mom is your mom's mom. Yeah, I'm putting it all together here.
Yeah,
And
that
man,
would make him his uncle.
Yes, I know. Guys, it's been a long day. I've been teaching 8th graders all day. Man, you guys are so tight. And I love that DeBrico's got his own thing. For those that don't know, how many followers does DeBrico got on TikTok?
Man, I don't know, but he blowing up for sure.
Yeah. DeBrico dances and he hustles. And look, I told you and DeBrico, you might remember this, I told you guys when you were in 8th grade, you were getting inducted in the Junior National Honor Society, and I said, hey, you look around. It's you two and R.J. Henderson, the superintendent's son. Mm-hmm. You are the only football players in National Junior Honor Society. You've been setting yourself up for this, Derwin, before this day ever came with your academics, right?
Yes, sir.
So tell me, what would you tell kids today that are in 7th or 8th grade? They're good football players that love football. I want to hear from you about how important the book side of it all is.
Man, grades come first. Cause at first you a student athlete. You see how athlete comes second. So, like, you can't do nothing in life, like high school, college-wise. Even when you get older and go to the league, you can't do nothing without no book smart, no book sense, street sense. It's just everything. Like, the books is the most important thing in your life. You gotta have
total
something
package.
you gotta have something you want to do after football, because football gonna end eventually.
And yeah, hey, you heard it here. You heard it here from a guy who's living it. I'm sure your coaches tell you that a lot. Tell me about the relationship you have with your coaches.
Man, the one shot I gotta give it to Coach Mack, man. That's my dog. Like, since 9th grade, I was playing tight end, but he wanted me to come to defense. Me and him clicked. Like, even though my 9th grade year, like, we done had ups and downs, but I done talked to Coach Mack. We done had our talks, had everything going on, and I loved it, man. Cause like, he brought me to where I am today. Like, he pushed me hard. Ain't nobody else gonna say they did, but since I've been around Coach Mack, he done pushed me real hard.
Yeah, he saw what was inside of you. Coach Corey McLaurin, defensive coordinator there at Brookhaven High. All right, so we're going to hit a break, and then we're going to come back one more section with you. But before we do, Brandon, why don't we tell the folks what's going on at your beautiful office at 106 South Whitworth Avenue at Brandon Shamatara State Farm Insurance down here in downtown Brookhaven.
Hey, man, just competing. Hey, just like Derwin being an athlete, I'm a former athlete, take the same mentality with me to the insurance industry, which is not glorious. It's not a lot of fun. But, hey, we're competing to take care of our people, competing to get our folks the best price. And, so I would just recommend, hey, look, it's that time of year. Just kick a year off with getting some new quotes. That's
what somebody said to me recently. They said, hey, man, the way insurance is, I'm ready to shop around. If you're ready to shop around, come see Brandon Shamatara in downtown Brookhaven. We're going to hit a break and be back one more segment with Derwin. right, it's Y'all Sports Radio, and we are wrapping this thing up. One final section here with Derwin Fields, junior defensive end from Brookhaven High School. Derwin, I wanted to ask you, people are always trying to read the tea leaves. You wear Ole Miss gloves, they're asking you about Ole Miss. You wear a Texas A&M towel, they're asking you about Texas A&M. Is that just like fun for you to kind of like get people talking?
Yeah, because I'll be playing around with them. Like, everybody tell me they know where I'm going. It just, they'll see it or something when I come in.
Yeah, they'll see. So is that the plan? Give me the idea. Like, we're going through the process, and I've heard you want to be done with this, right? So you can focus on your senior year. Tell me what you're thinking.
Oh, it's like when I talked about committing and things like that, my coaches, my mom, they told me sit down and pray. That's the first thing you got to do. You got to let God take over, because without God, I wouldn't even be in this situation I am today. So it's like I got to think, pray, talk to folks that I'm real close to, like get an insight on everything that I'm going to do. Then that's when we're going to make the decision.
Man, that's a good word right there. You got good coaches.
So I got a question about the NIL. We won't dive too much into it. We don't want to know specifics or anything. I don't even know how it works for a high schooler. So just kind of from painting with a broad brush here, how does that work coming out of high school?
Like, I ain't gonna lie, I don't even know myself. Cause we ain't got to talk about it. Ain't no coaches and nothing talk to me about it. So, but I done talked to other big time recruits. Like, they done told me how it went and stuff like this. So it just my time just ain't came for that yet.
So they're not. So when they come in and talk to you, Derwin, they let you know like all that stuff gets sorted out by people,
general manager from the college
and people that are going to be working for you, right?
Yes, sir.
But do you ever stop and just think, hey, in a year's time, I'm going to sign with a school, and I'm going to reap these rewards of my hard work, and I'm going to be able to put my family in a situation that maybe you never even were able to dream about? Do you sit and ponder on that ever, Derwin?
Like, every time I'm at the house, like, I sit and think, and I get on Instagram, I get on somehow, be like, hey, I'm really in the position, so it's only time to come for when all this come down. Like, this what I prayed for, this what I talked about as a kid. Like, when I first started playing football, I said I wanted to be Sermon Life, so that's what I'm going to get to.
Well, now, I applaud your patience, buddy, because, I think that somebody else in your shoes, they could be running around trying to get this from this person or that from that person. Yeah. But I really feel like your whole outlook of like, hey, seek what the Lord wants, consult with your family, consult with the people you trust around this. When I look up and I see you at a high school basketball game and you got Darian Dorsey on one side of you and Corey McLaurin on the other side of you, I don't think you can go wrong with those kind of people in your corner.
Great support cast.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Brandon, you got anything else you want to hit?
Man, I want to encourage you, brother. Man, just stay grounded like you are in your faith and in the wisdom that you're getting from the people surrounding you. Don't change who you are, because let me tell you something. All of those schools that I named off earlier, there's a lot going on at those schools that are going to try to distract you, not intentionally, but that's going to distract you from your main goal, which is to be a great student and even greater athlete on the field. And so, hey man, put those blinders on, keep that tunnel vision, and brother, you're gonna go really far, and I have no doubt about that.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
And look, I'm honored that you came on and were our first guest. And I want to ask you, you're an 8th grader, you're at break. I'm giving you some words of encouragement. Do you remember that day at break? What'd I tell you?
It's hard to remember, man.
I'm gonna tell you, and this is no cap. All right. I see you at break one day.
What'd you say?
I'm a middle school teacher, Brandon. I saw you at break one day, and I said, hey, man, you're going to grow into a big man one day. Your day is going to come. Because in middle school, everybody knows the running back, everybody knows the quarterback. But I said, you're going to be a big man one day. It's after I found out Slim was your dad. Yeah. And I could see that, like, hey, this guy's going to be 6'4", 6'5" one day, man. And you have, you've lived up to that. And I'm telling everybody to listen. Telling all the little prognosticators all around the state, Brookhaven High Panthers will repeat next year's 5A state champion.
Let's go.
That's Derwin Fields, man. He has been our first guest. We're gonna hit an ad here in a second, but before we do, we're talking with Derwin and how he's the next big thing in the recruiting cycle around the state. The next big thing around these parts in the world of ag is the new location of Juan Seed Store. You've grown up Brookhaven, you know Juan is a trusted brand. It's been serving folks in Southwest Mississippi for a long time. The new location is on Highway 84th, intersection of Hog Chain and 1st Street. It's spectacular. We're getting ready to wrap this thing up. When we do, you'll be able to re-listen to this broadcast via podcast thanks to our friends at Juan Seed Store in Brookhaven. We're going to throw it to one more break and then come up back and wrap it up with Brandon. Brandon Shamatara, are you having fun?
Man, listen, I wouldn't rather be anywhere else right now.
I'm having so much fun, man. If that's episode 1 of Y'all Sports Radio, and I can't wait for the next 51 episodes.
We've got some work to do to top that one.
Oh,
hey, how about Derwin, man? Just an outstanding young man. He's not a kid. He's a young man because the wisdom that he has, Cliff, man, I'm so excited. Of course, I've been following him for a couple of years now. On the field and just talking to you some about him, but like listening to him and just seeing how grounded he is, man, it's just going to be special. And I can't wait till next season. I might go watch a powerlifting meet
just to see Derwin compete. And look, I've seen this process. I've seen highly ranked players before, and a lot of times those things are built on hype. Derwin is built on what he's done so far, and then the whole idea that he has so much potential to even do even more. And he wouldn't be in this position if he didn't have good family, and he wouldn't be in this position if he didn't have good grades, because you know from your JUCO experience, some of the greatest athletes in the world never get those opportunities because they just can't take care of business in the classroom. So if you're in Brookhaven, Mississippi, and you live in Lincoln County, I don't care where your kids go to school, you need to be proud to know that we have an outstanding football player and young man in our community in Derwin Fields. We were talking off air. People come up to him and ask him to sign autographs when he's at a Franklin County BHS game, and he does it. He does it, because he's such a good kid, man. I cannot wait to see where this journey leads him.
And just thinking about, like we talked about, a support system, Coach Dorsey, Coach McLaurin, and of course those are the ones that probably get the most love, defense coordinator and head coach, but just a coaching staff full of guys just like those with Coach Dorsey's leadership. And you talk about Derwin's recruiting not being hype, and you're right. Derwin's recruiting is from that blue-collar, outwork you mentality that Coach Dorsey, even back to Coach Peavy, and Coach McLaurin and all the strength coaches and man, just the list goes on and on. But that's the Brookhaven Highway. There's not a lot of hype that comes out of this town from a state perspective. Yep. They just work their behinds off, and they absolutely surprise the rest of the state. But guess what? It's no surprise to you. No. It's no surprise to me. It's no surprise to anybody who lives in this town and they see what goes on. So big shouts out to the coaching staff, the rest of the team, and Derwin, because he would even say he wouldn't be where he is today without his coaches. Well, first of all, his family support system, his coaches, and then his teammates. And so, man, just so exciting to spend some time with Derwin, and super excited about the future of his career and BHS football.
You said it right there, buddy. We don't get a lot of hype in Southwest Mississippi, and that was my whole thought with starting Y'all Sports, was to hype these kids.
That's
and
a
these
tee up, Cliff.
That's right. Thank you, my brother. We want to thank our sponsors again, Bank of Brookhaven, Toyota Brookhaven, Brandon Shamatara State Farm, and Juan Seed Store. We can't wait to be back doing this again next week. Brandon, thanks again, buddy. I'm Cliff. This is Y'all Sports Radio, and we'll see y'all on the sidelines.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.